So earlier we were talking about data collection plan. In that we talked about operational definition, we talked about other details for data collection. Now here let's understand the types of data. Data could be either qualitative or quantitative. When you say quantitative, quantitative is quantity. Quantity means number. Qualitative is the quality. Quality like good, bad. That's qualitative. Numbers are quantitative. So that's how you can classify a data. So let's say if I ask you to collect a data and one of the column of that is what is the color of that item, red, blue, green. What does this mean? That this data is not quantitative. So when you are writing down red, blue, green, you are not taking quantitative data. What you are taking is a qualitative data. Or if I ask the operator to pick the piece and check whether this is acceptable or rejected and note that down. So piece number 1 accepted, piece number 2 rejected. Now this accepted or rejected, what type of data is that? That is also qualitative data. Here we are talking of quality, pass, fail. It's not quantity. When it comes to quantity, we are talking about numbers. For example, if I ask you to take the measurement of length, weight, time, all these things come out as a number. So that data would be quantitative data because there you have quantity. So this was one classification of data, data as qualitative or quantitative. The other way to classify data could be continuous versus discrete. Let's look at that on the next slide. So here data can be classified into continuous data or the discrete data. What's continuous? Continuous is which is continuous. For example, if I talk about the length of one piece, which is let's say 1 meter, you don't get exactly 1 meter. You might have 1.01 meter or 1.0001 meter. That's the length of a piece, not exactly 1 meter. So that sort of data is a continuous data where the data can be subdivided into number of items, number of sub items. Let's say from 99 centimeters to 100 centimeters, there can be infinite possibilities. You can have 99.00, you can have 99.1, you can have 99.1357. So even though we have length as 99 centimeter and 100 centimeters, in between these you can have number of stops. That is the example of a continuous data. So for example, if you are taking length, weight, height, time, all these things would be in the form of continuous data. Continuous data has more information, you have more details here, and with the less number of samples you can get much more information. So if you just take let's say 10 measurements of the length, you will get much more information than just noting down accepted or rejected. But then it takes more time, so it's expensive to collect. So this was about the continuous data. Discrete data is the data in steps. So you have number of steps. For example, how many students are there in the class? Okay, students could be 20, 21, 22. You cannot have 20.537 students in that class. This is an example of discrete data. If I flip 100 coins and I note down how many heads came, either you will have 50 heads, 51 heads, 52 heads. You will not have 50.537 heads coming when you toss 100 coins. This is coming in steps. So this will be discrete data. So this was another classification. So here we understood the classification of data as qualitative and quantitative, and then we talked about the classification of data as continuous and discrete data. Later on, we will be talking about probability distribution in this course. There we will be talking about continuous and discrete data. There are different probability distributions for continuous and discrete data. When we talk of continuous data, we will be talking about normal distribution. When we talk of discrete data, we will be talking about binomial distributions. But let's not worry about that. We will see when we reach there. But for now, let's understand that data can be classified as qualitative or quantitative, or data could be classified as continuous or discrete data.